Hello and welcome back to my channel, guys. This is Anand and you're watching Physics Craze. So there is a very important update to all of you. From tomorrow onwards I'll be going to take live sessions and I'll be going to cover the assignment questions and some of the topics. If you haven't subscribed my channel yet, then please do subscribe it so that you will get notified every time I'll come live or I update a new video on my channel. So without wasting too much time, let's get started. So in this video we're gonna derive the formula for electric field at center of uniformly charged hemisphere. Here we'll have hemisphere. Okay, specifically we will going to form the formula for hemisphere only, and here we have some surface charge density sigma which is constant. So first of all we can write sigma as small charge dq divided by small area dA. Now since it's a sphere, so we have to use spherical coordinates, and we know that in spherical coordinates we have r, theta and phi, where r is measured from center, theta is measured from z axis and phi is measured from x axis on the xy plane. So before starting the derivation we have to set the coordinate system. So let me take this axis as my z axis. So I can take this is as my z axis and this is my x axis. So the axis which is perpendicular and into the page would be the y axis. So I am just assuming my coordinate system. Why I have assumed z axis here? Because we know that theta is measured from z axis, so we need to show z axis also. So now let me just do it. This is the small area element I am considering here. In the 2D diagram I cannot show the whole hemisphere. I'm just considering a small area element here which is consisting small charge dq and area dA. Just let us consider, and from the center the distance would be of this small charge element would be capital R, because we have charges on sphere only, so the distance would be capital R. And from z axis let's consider it is making angle, some angle theta. Now as we know this area element is on the surface, so we write dA as the area element of the surface, and this dsr, as we know in a spherical coordinate we have dlr, means the small displacement element in r direction, the small displacement element in theta direction, and small displacement element in phi direction. We have done it in my previous videos. I will attach the video thumbnail at the end of this video. You can go and check it out. So to find the DSR, we have to cross product dl theta and dl phi. So dl theta is r d theta and dl phi is what? r sin theta d phi. This was the small displacement element in respective direction. So here DSR or dA would be r square sin theta d theta d phi. Now here we don't have variation of r, so it's obvious because we have charges at a distance capital R everywhere from the center, so we don't have to vary r. So we'll now proceed with it. So let me just rough all this. Here we have area element as, what was our area element? Area element as r square sin theta d theta d phi. So sigma can be written as, or we can say dq can be written as sigma dA, and here dA is r square sin theta d theta d phi. Now see, the electric field due to this small charge would be in this direction, and let it be dE. And if I just draw the z axis downward, I can say this angle also would be theta. And from the symmetry, what I can write the net electric field would be in this direction, because on the both side we have same charge distribution, uniform charge distribution. So we can write E net as this. So E net can be written as E net, here we can write E net as integration of dE cos theta, taking the component dE towards z direction, and here we have dE as k dq over this is the distance, so distance would be capital R square into cos theta. So from the above discussion we can put dq. So here we'll have k divided by R square cos theta into dq, and what is the value of dq? We have sigma R square sin theta d theta d phi. So this R square will get cancelled and we'll have only k. Let's take k and sigma because both are constant at the outside, and here we'll have sin theta cos theta d theta and multiplied by integration of d phi only, because we don't have any term containing phi. So phi is measured from x-axis on the xy plane. So here this is my xy plane, this base, and we can say for a whole hemisphere we have the variation of phi from 0 to 2 pi, but for hemisphere the variation of theta is from 0 to pi by 2, because we have only half part of the sphere. So we have to write the variation of theta is from 0 to pi by 2. Now here we have E net as, so let me just write that equation again so that it won't create any confusion. Sin theta into cos theta d theta, and the variation of theta would be what? 0 to pi by 2, and d phi, we have variation of phi from 0 to 2 pi. So we can directly write this term as 2 pi. So we'll have k sigma 2 pi into, here what we'll gonna do, we'll gonna multiply and divide by 2. So here we'll have 2 sin theta into cos theta d theta and divide by 2 will take outside. So here the variation is from 0 to pi by 2. What we can write? We can write k sigma pi, this 2 and 2 will get cancelled, and we'll have only sin 2 theta d theta, and the variation is from 0 to pi by 2. So E net would be k sigma pi, and what is the integration of sin 2 theta? It is minus cos 2 theta divide by 2, and the variation is from 0 to pi by 2. So let me just take the 2 outside. So here we can write sigma k pi by 2 and minus cos this 2 theta. While we put pi by 2 we'll get only pi sin, minus cos pi, and again minus minus would be plus, and here we'll get cos 0. So cos pi is minus 1 and this minus minus 1 would be positive. So we'll have k sigma pi divided by 2, 1 plus 1, which is again 2, and here this 2 and 2 will get cancelled. So what we can write? We can write sigma pi divided by k. What is the value of k? It is 4 pi epsilon naught. So see, this pi and this pi would get cancelled, and we'll have E net at the center would be sigma divided by 4 epsilon naught only. And what would be the direction of this E? The direction would be in the negative z direction. Now we'll move ahead. If we have the charge distribution not on the surface only but all over the hemisphere, so let's consider here we have rho, which is constant, and we have to find the electric field at center. So here also what we have to do, we have to set our coordinate system. So let me just set this. This is my z axis, this is my x axis, and here this is on my xy plane, the bottom part of this hemisphere. So let me just take now any element at anywhere, because here we have charges spreaded all over the sphere. So we'll take this small charge here. Let's consider this small charge at distance small r. Okay, and this small part of the sphere contains small charge dq, and the volume of that part would be dv. Why I am taking volume? Because here we have charge density rho. So we can write rho as dq over dv. So we can write that small charge as rho dv. Now here we have rho equals to constant. Rho is constant. So we can write rho, and at the place of dv for spherical coordinate we have to write r square sin theta dr d theta d phi. Here I am varying r also, because here we have charges from center to capital R, radius of the sphere. We have charge all over the sphere, so we have to vary r also. So now the electric field because of this would be in this direction. So let's name it dE, and the angle which it makes with z axis, here let's consider it is theta, because we measure theta with respect to z only in case of spherical coordinate. So this angle would also be theta, and from symmetry again what we can say that E net would be in this direction. So to find E net, we can write the component of DE in the direction of negative z. So it would be DE cos theta. Now DE, what will be the value of DE from this diagram? We can write DE as K dq divided by small r square, because now the distance of dq from the center is small r, and here we have cos theta. Now let me just put the value of dq. What we can write here, we can write k by r square cos theta and multiply by dq. What is the value of dq? It is rho r square sin theta dr d theta d phi. So this r square and r square will get cancelled, and we'll have k rho outside, and just let me take dr here, multiply by sin theta cos theta d theta and multiply by d phi. So here also we can say r is varying from 0 to radius, because capital R is the radius of sphere. So we will write the variation of small r from 0 to capital R, and again the variation of phi would be 0 to 2 pi, because we are considering whole hemisphere. And from z axis, if you will notice, the variation of theta would be 0 to pi by 2. 0 to pi by 2. Now I'll just do the same thing we have done for the hollow hemisphere. So here we'll have k rho, and this would be small r, the variation is 0 to capital R, and this would be what we'll have here. Let me just write sin 2 theta divided by 2, we can write that. And for phi we'll have, I'm writing the direct value 2 pi, and the variation of theta is from 0 to pi by 2. So what we can write k rho into capital R into 2 pi divided by 2, and the integration of sin 2 theta would give minus cos 2 theta divided by 2, and the variation is from 0 to pi by 2. So we can write k, this 2 and 2 will get cancelled, and this 2 I am writing outside. So what we can say, it will be k rho r divided by 2, and here we have 2, because if you just put these two values, so we'll have 2 only. So this 2 and 2 will get cancelled, and what we'll have only k rho r, this much only. So, and pi is also there, I haven't write pi. Now while put the value of k, we can write rho r pi divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. This pi and pi would get cancelled, and here we'll have E net as rho r divided by 4 epsilon naught. See, this is the difference for hollow hemisphere and we can say solid hemisphere. So here we are not discussing some cases whether to find electric field at some general point, because in this geometry you cannot find electric field at some point because it is hemisphere. If it would have been a whole sphere, so we can do that using Gauss laws, but here if a question appears for hemisphere whether it is hollow or solid, you will always asked to calculate electric field at the center only, because there is no way to calculate electric field at there or some other points. So that's why we are not discussing any cases here. So the next topic is relation between lambda, sigma and rho. Can we write sigma rho in terms of lambda? So here we have sigma as charge divided by area, and for a given element we can write area as length into width. Here we can write length into width. This charge divided by length is our what? Lambda. So we can write sigma as lambda divided by width. Similarly we can do rho. Rho can be written as charge divided by volume, and what is volume? Volume is area into width. So this charge divided by area would be our sigma. So we can also write rho as sigma divided by width. So here you have one small example or homework. You have to calculate E at vertex of this cone, and the vertex of the cone is at this point O. So I'll give some hint. It has some charge density rho. I'll give some hint. To solve the cone related problem, we always have to assign our coordinate system such that it is inverted cone. So in this diagram, if you'll see, we can just invert this diagram like this. We are not going to change any of the quantities, we just inverting our pawn. And now just assign our what, coordinate system. And in the case of cone, we always have to use spherical coordinates. It would be easy, spherical coordinates. So just give a try to yourself and post your answer in the WhatsApp group or Telegram group, or otherwise tomorrow I'll be going to take the live session, and in that I'll be going to cover this question also. So yes, this is it for today's lecture guys, and we have some also important questions from Irodov. And stay tuned to my channel and please attend the live session, share your view whether you like it or not. Until then, best of luck and take care.